Welcome, dear listeners, to series of podcasts named Empires of India, from Mughals to the British Raj, an exclusive podcast series brought to you by Westferry Times news channel. I'm Dee Dee, your host for this historical deep dive, and let me tell you, I've been waiting to start this journey for a while now.
And I'm Angelo, your co-host and fellow history enthusiast. Oh, and believe me, folks, what we have planned for you is nothing short of incredible. Imagine peeling back layers of time, unraveling stories of grandeur, betrayal, revolutions, and the sheer resilience of an ancient civilization.
Exactly. Over the next 10 episodes, we're going to take you on a journey through one of the most fascinating periods of Indian history, the Mughal and British eras. It's a story of contrasts, creation and destruction, enlightenment and oppression, beauty and brutality.
And here's the best part. We're not just giving you dry dates and events. Oh no. Think of this as sitting around a warm fire, listening to old tales come alive.
Oh, absolutely. We'll dive deep into the personalities of emperors like Akbar the Great, Shah Jahan, and the controversial Aurangzeb. And don't even get me started on the British. There's so much to uncover about their cunning tactics and their, shall we say, creative accounting when it came to India's wealth.
Ha! Creative indeed. They practically turned India's treasury into their personal piggy bank. But wait, let's not jump too far ahead. First, let's give our listeners a taste of what each chapter will cover.
All right, here's the grand plan, folks. We'll kick off with Chapter 1, The Arrival of the Mughals. Picture this, a bitterly cold battlefield in Central Asia, a young warrior named Babur gazing across the vast plains of Hindustan, dreaming of empire. We'll explore how his ambition planted the seeds of the mighty Mughal Empire.
Oh, and let's not forget the culture shock. Babur's own words reveal how much he disliked the Indian climate and lifestyle initially. Yet, his descendants would go on to redefine what it meant to rule this land.
From there, we'll move to Chapter 2, where we bask in the golden age of the Mughals. Imagine standing in the bustling bazaars of Fatehpur Sikri, hearing the clink of gold coins and the chatter of merchants. Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, they weren't just rulers, they were visionaries.
Oh, and let's not forget Shah Jahan's grand love story, the Taj Mahal. Did you know it took over 20 years and 200 workers to build?
Mind-blowing, isn't it? And then, in Chapter 3, we'll talk about how the Mughals brought a cultural renaissance to India. Think of the stunning miniatures, intricate calligraphy, and, of course, food.
Hey, you're already thinking about biryani, aren't you?
Guilty as charged. But yes, biryani, kebabs, korma, all of it traces its roots back to the Mughal kitchens.
Then, we shift gears in Chapter 4, where we examine the decline of the Mughals. Weak rulers, power struggles, and the rise of regional kingdoms, all of it created a perfect storm for the next chapter of our story.
And that brings us to Chapter 5, The Arrival of the British. Picture this. A fleet of ships docking at the ports of Surat, seemingly innocent traders, with their eyes on spices and textiles. Who would have thought they'd go on to colonize an entire subcontinent?
That's the beauty of hindsight, isn't it? By Chapter 6, we'll uncover the true scale of British exploitation. And thanks to modern historians like Shashi Tharoor, we know the staggering numbers, $45 trillion drained from India.
Just let that sink in for a moment. $45 trillion. It's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
And that's just the monetary part. In Chapter 7, we'll discuss the cultural and social impact, how the British disrupted traditional systems, introduced English education, and left a mixed legacy.
And then, the sparks of rebellion. Chapter 8 is all about the uprising of 1857, the heroes, the betrayals, and the impact it had on India's freedom struggle. Well up, papas.
That naturally leads us to Chapter 9, where we discuss the Indian freedom movement, Gandhi, Nehru, the Salt March, the Quit India movement. It's all coming up.
And finally, in Chapter 10, we'll reflect on the legacy of these two empires. What lessons can modern India draw from its past?
You know, just talking about it makes me excited.
Same here. So, folks, grab a cup of tea, settle into your favorite spot, and let's embark on this journey together.
Stay tuned for Chapter 1, The Arrival of the Mughals, coming up right after this short break.